Okay, guys, real quickly, I just want to talk about a different perspective. I want to talk about a different perspective, and a different perspective is that black women actually are on code. They're on code with with black men, and what black men has programmed them to be, right? Along with other black women who were okay with it. Um, So, like, I hear a lot of people say, I've been hearing for a long time, a lot of women talk about how black women need to get on code. But here's the thing, there is no sisterhood code between black women. The sisterhood code that existed between black women was destroyed probably over like 100,000 years ago. Like literally, it was destroyed in the very first matriarchy. Okay, it was destroyed a long time ago. So there is no sisterhood. The black women broke the code when they turned their backs on the feminine energy and wanted to raise up masculine energy. That's when black women broke that code. Ever since then, there has not been a code that has existed for black women in any kind of sisterhood. Okay, I just want to say that when I hear, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I just thought about this today because I hear a lot of people say, stay on code. And I'm thinking, like, a lot of black women, I don't think they know what the code is because they've been a certain way for so long. They aware of what the code is? White women are aware of what the code is because but black women don't know what the code is, you know. And so black women lost their sisterhood and they lost their code of sisterhood ever since they turned their back on the cosmic mother. They turned their backs on feminine energy to uplift masculine energy. Okay, to they really did. Black women was behind. Okay, we know that the black man is the first patriarch, but the black woman helped him get there because she knew stuff that he did not know. He could not have done it without him. That's the point. He could not have done it. Excuse me. He could not have done it without her, and that's the point because she is the one. And when I say she, I'm just talking about just black women, period, around that time. A lot of them, everybody didn't agree with it, and every black man back then didn't agree with it either. But, they are the ones, the black women are the ones that taught these males the mysteries and helped establish patriarchy. But it wasn't completely established because, they set out to usurp matriarchy. And then when Alexander the Great came about, they taught black women and black men, allowed them in their circles, and taught these Greeks the mysteries, taught people like Alexander the Great the mysteries, and that's how they were able to conquer a lot of black people. Okay, and but the black man wanted to team up with Alexander the Great to completely overturn matriarchy, and it was violently done, and it was successful. Okay, along with some black women who keep agreeing with this stuff. Okay, so that's what I want to say right there. I just want to go in the history of, black women lost their sisterly code a very long time ago. Okay, a very long time ago. For some of them to be okay with, helping the black man team up with Alexander the Great to completely violently usurp matriarchy, mean black women just have not been on code for a long doggone time. Okay, but I want to say this. Black women, this is the other perspective I wanted to talk about real quick, okay? Um, Black women are actually on code, okay? So I said a while ago about a dream I had, and this was when I was in Los Angeles, because I left Los Angeles temporarily, just for maybe a few months. I don't know if I'm going back. I want to get away from the busyness. But I remember years ago when I was going to school for producing, right? And I was taking different classes like screenwriting and editing and all that stuff. And I remember having a dream during that time. It was 2014, and I remember having a dream around that time. It was myself and it was another young lady, darker complexion, tall, and just very, very nice looking, very pretty lady. and it was a black man, and he had this contract for me to sign. And on the contract, the black man was saying, you have to allow us to disrespect you, and you can't say anything. So I'm going somewhere with this. He said to me in the dream, you have to allow us to disrespect you, and you can't say anything. And I said, no, thank you. I'm becoming a producer myself. I do whatever I want to do. So that's all right. I don't need your help. See, in order for black women to, I guess, to make it in black cinema or whatever, they have to be okay with the black man turning it down, and not even just being limited to black people, but even if they go mainstream, they still cannot speak out against the abuse coming from black men. I noticed that even black women who've gone mainstream, they still, either they don't want to speak out or they cannot speak out. But I definitely know to be successful within black media and within black cinema, within black music, within black entertainment, you have to be okay with black men disrespecting you, and you cannot say a word, or you just will not make any more money in that industry. Okay? I literally saw this guy wanted me to sign a contract being okay and saying that I agreed to being disrespected. And so when I said no, this young lady that was next to me, beautiful dark-skinned woman, I'm saying this for a reason, okay? I'm saying this for a reason. And I'm going to tell you why. The beautiful dark-skinned woman said that I was jealous because I did not want to sign a contract agreeing to a black man to disrespect me. I don't agree to no man disrespecting me. It's not about a black man. I don't agree to no man disrespecting me. But in this case, in the dream, it was a black man, okay? So, so the black woman, who was probably some kind of handler, came to me and said, you jealous of me, you jealous of my body, because the lady was tall and, looked like she's about 5'8" or something, and slender, she's like a model. But it just, I don't think it was happenstance that I saw that she had a darker complexion. When I say dark complexion, like Rashida Strober, or maybe a little bit darker, that kind of a dark complexion, not some darker brown skinned person, But like literally, it wasn't a lot of brown, Now, why did I bring up the skin complexion of this woman? Because when enough of those women rise up and say no more, because all other groups and all other shades come from this complexion of woman, right? All other shades of people, all other shades of women come from this complexion of woman, okay? And so in order to make sure the whole group stays down, they want to, and I'm talking about women, black women, and women, period, in order to make sure women stay oppressed, this black women have to make sure that she stays at the and I'm talking about this dark skin, the one I described, not some person who's brown skin with a darker brown complexion. I'm not talking about that kind of, I'm talking about this person, what might have been a Rashida Strober complexion, or might have been just a little bit darker. She was a complexion. It was some rapper. It was some rapper that disrespected this black model, and this is exactly what that woman looked like in my dream. I forget the name of this rapper because I cannot keep up with these people. I don't know what his name is, but he's some kind of rapper. And he was disrespecting some kind of, okay, I remember. Okay, it was some kind of rapper. And they showed where they wanted to put on the act where they were preferring to put the dark-skinned woman ahead of the mixed race, the biracial woman. But then they showed where the rapper went back to the biracial woman and said, "Oh, you're beautiful. You're beautiful, right? Okay." And then they said that they actually did not really use this dark-skinned woman. I can't remember how that story goes. And the reason why I can't remember, because I do not know these people. I just know at the time when I hear certain YouTubers report it, then I hear the story, but I don't know these people. And when I don't know people, it's hard for me to remember the story. But that's the gist of it. Some rapper wanted to I guess for some kind of attention from black women, he wanted to put on media that he chose this dark skinned woman over this mixed woman to put in the video, but then he kept trying to comfort this mixed woman to let her know that she was beautiful. Okay, and but then I don't know what this dark skinned model came back saying. I think she came back with some other comment, but I cannot remember what she said. Like I said, when I don't know people, it's hard for me to remember stories after time goes by because I don't know who they are, you know. But I do remember that story vaguely. Okay, and that model that story was about, what looked exactly like the model that I saw in my dream. And that is the one somebody said that, you know, she had that complexion where she was kind of blue black. That was not an insult. It's nothing wrong with being a blue black, because the thing about being blue black means that she's from a particular species as well. And people need to understand that folks have other different bloodlines besides human. They have bloodlines that come from out this world. And so she blue black like that because she might come from a different type of bloodline that ain't from this world. So Colin saying that in my case, saying that she blue black is not an insult, because it gives me an idea of her a possible extraterrestrial bloodline. But I don't want to get into that stuff because some people think that's crazy. But that woman looked exactly like that person that was in my dream that called me jealous and was hopping on my case because I didn't want to sign a contract agreeing to be disrespected and then being silent. She called me crazy, and she called me, and like I said, I focus on her complexion because that is the complexion of women that all other complexions come from. And when she rises up, that means that's it. Patriarchy gonna go down regardless. I don't know when that's gonna happen. Okay, I think it's gonna happen a lot sooner because there's other interesting feminine energies that's coming in. Okay, if humans don't want to do anything about what these guys are doing, it's other feminine industry that don't come from feminine energies that might not necessarily be of Earth. They coming in too, and they doing something about this. Okay, so maybe the human black woman or the human woman period are not tired enough of this mess, but there's other feminine energy that necessarily don't have to exist in humans that's coming in. Okay, all right. And so one way or another, they're not going to let these men continue to do what they're doing. But yeah, I wanted to say why I emphasize her complexion, because it's like they have to make sure that dark woman stays at the bottom to make sure women just do not rise, because when that dark skinned woman rise, that's gonna be it. Okay, but I'm just saying that's what I feel the reason, because they definitely, although they disrespect all women, they want to make sure that darkest black woman, they want to make sure she stay on the bottom, especially in the United States of America, definitely, but I think in other places too. They want to make sure she stay on the bottom. Now, not all. There are some, there are some cultures where black women are not treated like that by their men. Okay, there are some, because I've heard black women of other cultures who are dark skinned as well talk about how they're not treated like that by their group of men. So all of them ain't treated like that, but it's a whole lot though. It really is a whole lot. Okay. But I'm gonna end with kind of how I started, because I know I kind of went on a tangent with the contract thing, but also I was talking about black women are actually on code. They're actually on code. These black women in the United States, they are on code. They're on the Blackistani code, because this is a code that they have agreed to, whether they were programmed or whatever they were. This is a code that they have agreed to. What they are tolerating from these black males is actually what they have agreed to tolerate. Excuse me. It's actually what they agreed to tolerate. Even like during the Black Panther movement, during the Civil Rights movement, the black woman had to take a back seat so the black man can rise. Okay. And during the Black Panther movement, black women were taking so much abuse. That's how black feminism initially got started, because black women couldn't take it anymore. Okay, they couldn't tolerate no more. The abuse was just too much for them to bear. Okay, because between black men and white women and white feminists, the abuse of black women was too much for them to bear, and that's how the black feminism got started in, I think it was the early 70s. Okay, the early 70s. But yeah, it was still women back during that time that made sure black women stayed in line. Okay, like women like Shahrazad Ali, those kind of women, they make sure that black women stay in line. Okay, so actually, what I'm saying is that this kind of stuff has been taking place over several decades. And so when we see black women act the way they do when they're caping for these men, they actually are on code, okay? Because they're doing what they have been programmed to do for a very long time. Black women do not have a sisterly code. That has been broken over thousands of years ago. That sisterly code has never been established again. So a new sisterly code has to be established between black women, because right now there is no code that exists between black women right now. It's not. The only code that black women know is to continue to defend the black man at all costs. That's the only code that black women know. And literally that dream told me that it's a lot of these celebrity black women, because I find it odd that Ari Lennox of all people wanted to lash out against Gayle King. Okay, that let me know that regardless of how hurt she was, of how the lack of protection from black men, she know that there's an agreement that she always has to cape for the black man, regardless of how much he disrespects her. She knows, okay? And I think a lot of these black women, these celebrities, won't say nothing because there is an agreement. They do agree. I don't know whether it's a signed agreement or what it is, but these black women have agreed to be silent and not speak out against the abuse that happens. That a lot of them have agreed to this. Okay, like even the sororities, even it's just like they have this agreement. Okay, now a lot of people are going to say something personal about this woman, but I forget her name. It was that lawyer, Sophia something. She's a lawyer. Her name is Sophia Nelson. Okay, she's a lawyer. I know people are talking about, oh yeah, she wanted to take over. I knew her through watching Crystal and Harrison. And I think her, Crystal, and I forget the other lady's name, Simone 5-6, was put together something for black women and girls, okay? And the lawyer, they departed, they split. Okay, now I know people want to get on the reasons why they split, but I'm not trying to talk about anything personal against that lady. I don't want to get lost in saying anything personal about that lady, or anything personal about Crystalline, or personal about Simone 5-6, because that's not the point I'm about to make. The point I'm about to make is that she started a petition for black women and girls, and the bullying against black women and girls online. She started a petition, and she could barely get over 1,000. She could barely get over 1,000 doggone signatures. And do you know this woman? You know how much? Do you know how much? How many resources that lady have? How much clout that lady has? But she could not get over 1,000 signatures from black women. Now, was another black woman that had a petition against Tommy Sotomayor, and she had like between 10 and 30,000 signatures though. But for this lady, see, she's a part of a sorority. I think she's AKA Sophia Nelson. I think she might be AKA. So she's a part of a group, a sorority, that they will not turn against black men. You see what I'm saying? So these women in these high places, these black women in these high places with all these resources and all this clout cannot do anything, because it's literally an agreement to never speak out against the black man, no matter how much he abuses you. And I really, in the case of a lot of these entertainers specifically, I feel like they signing some kind of contract not to open up their mouth. I feel like they are. Okay. But anyway, that's all I want to say. I just want to say, actually, the black woman is on code. She's on code with how she agreed to be treated, okay? And I'm not talking about little girls growing up and getting raped and molested. They agreed to that. I'm not even talking about nothing like that. I'm talking about how in the entertainment industry, a lot of these women, They do have this code that they do not. That is the code for them. They do not turn against this black man. They do not report anything he does, no matter what he does, no matter how severe it is. They don't. They are never to say anything about this black man. Okay, and that is the code right now. That is currently the code, and that code is being broken. Okay, that code is being broken because, like I say, ain't nobody stopping that feminine energy. Okay, if it can't, if it is rising up in some black women, but you got this feminine energy that's also coming from outside of Earth coming in too. They not gonna talk, but the feminine energy that's coming in from outside of Earth is also just tearing down patriarchy. Period. It's not just focused on black men and these type of black women. They tearing down the patriarchal system. Period. Okay, regardless of what color that man is. Okay, and some women are going to be taken out because because to be honest with you, without the feminine, the masculine could not exist. You know, it's just what it is. So it still goes back to that feminine. So a lot of toxic women are going to have to be taken out. Okay, but that's all I'm going to say. And then when that happens, and you have more of the divine feminine rise up in these women, then you're going to start to see a code. But it's no telling how long that's going to be. Some people say it might not ever happen. Well, you don't know what's going to happen. It might not be in your lifetime. You just never know what's going to happen. I'm not going to count on seeing it in the next year or anything, or the next 2 years, but I never know because I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm not going to wait for it. I'm going to live my life. So I'm not going to try to guess when it's going to be because I'm not interested in waiting around. I'm interested in moving on with my life. Okay. But I am saying that right now, when people say on code, now, to be honest with you, I'm not, trying to discredit anybody say that because I literally just thought about this today. When people tell black women to stay on code, the code that black women currently are on, the only code that a lot of black women, is specifically in the United States, the only code a lot of them know is the code of defending the black man at all costs and never reporting him to any kind of authorities and never throw him under the bus no matter what he does to you. That is the code. So they are on code because that's the only code they know. Okay? And the black woman who didn't fall for it, well, you have some people, everybody ain't going to fall for the okie doke. Everybody not going to fall for the okie doke. And there's some black women coming up out of it. Okay? But, when that type of energy, that stronghold, when it is dismantled, then you will see a real sisterly code. But that current energy right there, that has to be broken down. Okay? That has to be broken down. Okay? And people might say, well, who's going to break it down? You have to understand how strong feminine energy is. And like I say, it don't have to, if the black women, humans, don't want to allow this feminine energy to rise up in them, it's going to come either way. It's going to come either way. And when this energy comes, it's coming to tear down patriarchy, period. It's not just going to be focused on black women and who tolerate black men's mess. It's going to come down to tear down patriarchy, period. Okay, but either way, that is it, and I will talk to you soon.